welcome back to Stitchcraft. My name is Mary the Stitchcraft Queen, and today is Wednesday, August 6th of 2025. I originally wasn't going to actually make one today because we are prepping for our vacation next week, but then I realized it's going to be not only next week, but the week after that, no, sorry, not next week, so it'll be 2 weeks from now till the next little episode. And so I was like, let's just go ahead and make one today. I have a little bit of time, let's do it. But yeah, can't believe it's August. I say that I feel like every month or every week. Crazy that it's already August. Essentially once we get back from our vacation, I'll be at 28 weeks. Well, I'll be about 3 days off, 3 days ahead of 28 weeks, but close enough. So yeah, almost in my third trimester. Very excited about that. Very excited to be like on the downhill part of things, because I'm ready to get this little baby out of me. Anyways, let's tune into our yarny things first. This week I didn't get as much done as I had hoped. And that was because I had, over the weekend, it was my cousin's wedding. And I had hoped to get more knitting done that day, and then even Monday. Are you serious? She's like, yes, I'm serious. Anyway, so I'd hoped to get more knitting done over the weekend, especially on like Sunday and Monday, but I got so sick. And I think one of the reasons, it wasn't like a cold or anything, it was pregnancy brain. It was pregnancy stuff, pregnancy related. I think one of the big reasons was, so we had planned to get dinner the night of the wedding, which was Saturday, but it ended up, it was at like this house thing, the reception, and then like my family kind of felt weird about ordering it. I should have honestly just taken because we drove with my parents, we should have taken my parents' car and just gone and got something. But I think not having that dinner, and then all I had that day basically was 2 bowls of cereal and like a yakisoba bowl that me and my husband went and got for lunch. Well, it was before lunch. And then a salad with questionable Italian dressing. So wasn't sure. I think that there was some cream in there, but they said it was vegan, but you don't never know, especially when high schoolers are serving you. But anyways, the wedding was great, but I didn't get as much knitting done because of that. But yeah, we will. Oh, and they're gonna maybe start playing, of course. But yes, we'll start off with my husband's sleeve. Oh, and it is all tangled in the yarn. We love that. I am actually almost done with his skein right here, and so we'll go on to the next skein. But anyways, so his, I believe I had finished the increases last week. Yeah, that looks right. I think I had finished the increases, and I just had to do like 3 more inches. So this is where I was last week. I did all but the top 5 rows, which I'll show you in just 1 second. So this is what it looks like now. We have it on, technically it is on straight needles. So I am now working back and forth instead of around and around and around, back and forth and back and forth. But I believe if I remember it was 143 rows for the whole sleeve. And I tried it on him once I had, of course, cast off, because you cast off a few stitches right here for that raglan, and then tried it on him. Looked like it's gonna fit real well. Thank you. It's also going to stretch a little bit with blocking, but I really like how it turned out. I think that it looks really good. Obviously I still have to do all the raglan decreases, and that will take a while, but I wanted to get my other sleeve there. I also really like how the increases look. I think they look really nice. And they would probably look still just as great if I had done it not in the round, but I just like how it looks. It looks so nice and neat. And then on like the front side, it just looks really good all together. So yes, let me move my little stitch marker now. I did, what was it? That was about I forgot what I was gonna say. I did, it was probably about 3-4 inches total on it. 3 inches in the round, and then the 5 setup rounds for the raglan. So all the setup stuff it looks kind of messy, but it's on right there. That's all the setup stuff. So I did the first little cable, but again, it looks really messy just because there's not, there's not a lot there, but hopefully in the next couple weeks it'll look a little better. But the setup's done. And then I wanted to do my sleeve, get that caught up a little bit. Also, I'm sorry for the sniffles. I stopped taking my allergy pill this weekend because when I went to we went and stayed at my mom's house for the wedding because it was an all-day event up in north of Salt Lake. And so it was a long drive. And we didn't want to do like 2 hours worth of, it would have been 2.5 hours worth of driving to 3 hours that day, and so we broke it up on the night before and then the day after the wedding, and stayed at my mom's house. But I forgot to take my pills with me, of course, both my prenatal, which it's fine, don't worry, and and then the my allergy pill as well. And I was so sick when I got back. I didn't start the allergy pill back up. I just wanted to get the prenatal in because that was the more important one at the time. But hopefully this week I will be able to start that back up. But anyways, here's my sleeve. I only did about an inch, about that much, before yesterday. And then yesterday I was finally feeling so good, and I had gotten all of my chores done ahead of time, and my work was a lot quicker than I had anticipated. And so I just sat down and I knit because I felt like I was in a good place, and I was just in a very knitting mood. So I did like 5 inches yesterday. I still obviously have quite a ways. There's about 3 more increases that I have to do. And then I will be to where the pattern says. So that will put on probably about another, 2 to 3 inches. And then I will have to make this 18 inches. My husband's was supposed to be 19. Mine has to be 18. And then I will obviously do the setup rounds. I think, this, I would love to get through the setup rounds before we leave on our trip. That gives me like 2 days, which I think is very plausible. If I can get through most of the big chores for today are done. The big chores for leaving on vacation are done. I just need to go through my suitcase one more time, and then wait for the laundry to finish, and then I'll put that away, but that won't be till much later this afternoon. So I think I have plenty of time this morning to get through the rest of the increases, and then tonight, hopefully I can get pretty far on the rest of the sleeve, because if I can get through the setup rounds and have them in the same place, I will be so happy. I'm debating if I would like to do the raglan decreases and finish a sleeve each first, or if I then also want to start the second sleeve for each of us before doing all the raglan decreases and do at least the ribbing. I haven't quite decided yet. I'll probably end up just finishing the sleeves because the little bag I have it in is already pretty full. Because they both I just pulled 2 brand new skeins of yarn, so now there's 2 skeins plus, excuse me, plus all of the yarn and the sleeves because they're pretty bulky. It's bulky yarn, so it takes up a lot of space. But yeah, very happy that I at least got my husband's sleeve done this week and got really far on mine. And then hopefully I will at least get through the raglan decreases, or not raglan decreases, through the setup rounds for the raglan decreases in 2 days. I think it's very doable. So that is my goal for that. And then you won't see me next week. And it'll be another week after that until my next one. And so hopefully by then I will have at least one of the sleeves totally done. We will see. I also did look when I was pulling the yarn. I forgot I have not stitched my cardigan together. My husband's is all done except for the sleeves, and then obviously the button band. Mine still has all the parts are not together. So that's another thing I hope to do once we get back. That takes 2 to 3 hours to do because it's not only just the 2 seams right here. The 2 seams takes like no time. But the pockets is what takes so long because you want them to be laying flat and looking nice and even. So that's the other one I'm gonna have to do and kind of figure out. But yeah, so that's the other thing I want to have done by the next time we're all together. The other thing you'll see when we're all together next time in 2 weeks is my husband's socks. That's what I'm taking with me on vacation because it's easy to work on the plane. It's something, if I so desired, I don't think I will though, I could take into the parks with us as well and work on those while waiting in lines. And so that's something else. I don't think I'm going to take it into the parks this time. It was great last time when I was feeling, feeling 100% and not pregnant. We went to Disneyland with my family, especially because a lot of the bigger rides, of course, but a lot of the bigger rides that me and my family love to go on, they have longer wait times. However, I cannot go on the bigger rides that, most adults and older teenagers like to go on more than the other little kiddie rides. But that also means me and my husband will have shorter wait times, which is nice. There's a couple that my husband's gonna go on, obviously like Single Rider, just cause he's never been on them and he's heard great things about a couple. Totally fine with that. But for the most part, we're gonna just be doing all the cute little kiddie rides, seeing some shows, just taking it nice and easy. So because of that, I probably won't be bringing my knitting into the park. That, and I feel like gonna be just really tired and exhausted. Like, we're gonna obviously have a great time, but I know that it is going to be a little bit of a difficult, at least physically, trip, just because of my body. And, I'm growing a baby, so I can give myself some slack. Okay, but that has to do with my projects. But yeah, that being said, we are doing, I think that it's gonna end up being 2 full days. We're doing Magic Kingdom and Epcot full days for sure. And I think we're just gonna do half days. We're gonna see how it goes at Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios, we probably would take a full day or most of the day to do it. But like half of the shows that we would go see, and half of the, kind of big ticket like rides that we can go on, are closed down because they are reamping that park quite a bit right now for next year, which we're fine with. I mean, I can't go on most of the big rides anyways that were there, but some of the shows I was kind of sad because I was like, dang it, I wanted to see, the Muppets show or whatever, and that's closed now, but that's okay. So that one we might just do a half day instead. But yeah, then we will have either more time to go, check out Disney Springs, and do some shopping and eating there, or hang around at the hotel, kind of chill a little bit. And if we're doing that, then I will most likely be knitting. So that will be some more time. That, and then the plane rides. Plane rides, they're long over there. I shouldn't say that long. They're like, the direct flight is like 4 to 4.5 hours, but we have layovers both ways. So it's gonna be probably closer to 5-6 hours, I would imagine, of flight time. Okay, so that will be what you'll see next week or in 2 weeks, is hopefully some finished sleeves and some socks. At least with hopefully most of the feet done. And then I can do the toe decreases on one day eventually. I'd probably just do those really quick the following week. But anyways, on to the next yarning thing. I got one package from Row 1. Yeah, I'm excited for this one. So this one is from the Sheepy Shire. Oh, and refresher, Row 1 is a subscription service. Every month they partner with a different yarn dyer, and they will send in like 100-gram skeins. They chop them up into 10 mini-gram skeins, or sorry, 10-gram mini skeins, there we go. And you get 10 of them. So you still get 100 grams, or what would be one full skein worth of yarn, but you get a bunch of just fun little colors, and it's a nice way to kind of, well, to support other dyers and then to try them out without having to like commit to, you know, a big project or anything. But this one is from the Sheepy Shire, and it's really fun. When I opened the package, I saw all these fun, bright colors. I think all of the colors in this one, yeah, all of them are variegated or speckled in some way. So they're very fun. They have really fun names. Like we have, this one is Plant Mom right here, this green one. This one right here, it is red, black, and white with some brown. It's called Dead Men Spin No Yarn, which I like because Pirates of the Caribbean is a great ride. And I can still go on it pregnant, so I'm happy about that. So yeah, this will be fun. We'll add that to my ever-growing stack. It sure is growing. Once I am done with the cardigans and the socks, that is the next project I'll be working on again. That, and then also, well, I have 3 blankets going on right now. So that'll be the next thing that I try to hit and get done pretty quickly. They also come with a cute little stitch marker. Well, so this one is for obviously summertime. It's probably supposed to be a margarita. We don't drink alcohol in this house though. So I'm gonna say it's a lemonade. It even has a cute little lemon on the side. So yeah, there is that stitch marker. So very excited for that. Let's see. I should be drinking water. Okay, we can go over, let's do media next, now that yarny stuff is done. Let's see, what did we watch? We didn't watch any movies this week because we were at a wedding. Oh, I finished on Netflix, and this I could only watch at my parents' house because they have like the premium subscription for Netflix. We only have the free version through T-Mobile, so I guess we don't get the full experience. But we were able to, well, I was able to watch, it was called Becoming Led Zeppelin, which I loved. I haven't watched a like an actual music documentary like that in a long time. I used to watch them all the time because I was, especially in high school and then through my first couple years in college, I was super into classic rock bands, and I was like obsessed with them, obviously. I mean, I'm still making a Beatles blanket, so that will tell you a little bit. But it was really good, really cool to like hear, because I had heard and like bits and pieces from, you know, just liking their music, but it was really cool to hear it from like themselves and from, you know, see, like it's really cool because their first album, at least in America, beat Abbey Road on the charts, which is really cool. It was #1 and Abbey Road was #2. So really interesting and cool just to hear their story. And of course, always their music. I love their music. It's great. But yeah. So that was a good one. What else did I watch? Oh, I watched last week when doing laundry. It's the newest, what was it? It's like, now I can't think of it. Conversations with the Murderer, with the Killer or something. But it's the Sons of Sam one, and that's where they have all the tapes from the guy going and interviewing them in prison. So really cool, because I remember I watched a Netflix documentary a few years ago on the Sons of Sam, and it was really confusing to me because it was kind of all over the place in how they did it. But this one has made a lot more sense. It's very like clear and concise, especially in the timeline. And it's just interesting to learn about those people, I feel like, because then you know how to better identify them and keep yourself safe. And I think it also teaches, hey, they're everyday people just like us, and they can hide it very well. So very interesting. What else did we watch? We watched, it was also on Netflix. I forgot what it was, but it's what the movie's name was. But it's the movie about the Airbnb being haunted or something. It started off really good. Like the first, I'd say probably like hour and a half was really, really good. And then it got weird, like just weird. And so it kind of lost me and my husband there, but it was like, it was on a trajectory to be really, really good, and really scary. And then it kind of lost us. The ending was pretty mid. But yeah, so there was that one. Started with a B. It was like the Bewitched or something. I don't think that's what it was, but that one was pretty good. I don't think we watched any other really movies. We watched a lot of random Netflix or random YouTube videos again. My sister this week showed us, what's his name? Caleb Hammer, I think was his name. He does these like financial audits on people where they'll submit, like it's people down on their luck obviously and doing terrible with their finances, but they'll submit like their documents to him and go on, and he'll basically tell them how terrible they are. And like, but yeah, it's crazy. There was one that was like super invested in a Ugandan gold mine. Me and my husband were like, how much of a red flag do you need in Ugandan gold mine? So yeah, that was interesting. It's crazy because he's like a year older than me and my husband. So we were like, imagine if we invested almost $100,000 into a gold mine that we'd never seen before. And then there was another one about, well, one of them was the woman of the couple was spending like $1,000+ a month on Labubu's, and then she obviously got like a ton of other stuff. And the one I just watched, the husband was really bad with money, or not the husband, the boyfriend was really bad with money. That was like kind of the last thing to the last step was to get that in order before they started like really seriously considering marriage. So very like realistic. I'm very glad that me and my husband have figured that out for the most part pretty well. I know I was always the one that struggled with it and getting stupid things, but at one point you kind of have to realize you got to grow up and you got to, start being an adult and making adult decisions, and they're not always fun, and that is okay. But then you can get more fun things like have a nice house or a nice place to live, and you can, pay for a child, which we're very excited for. And you can still have fun hobbies, like with my knitting. I still get, I narrowed it from I think I had 8 subscriptions last year or something, down to 2. And that took a long time for me to do, and a lot of, okay, I don't actually need this one. This is just something I like, and these are the ones that I like right now and I'll stick with. After the Beatles one is up though at the end of this year, I think I'm just gonna stick with row 1 and just have one a month. And then work through all the other yarn that I acquired over the last couple of years. But yeah, it's just growing up. And a lot of these people, they don't want to. They just want to keep spending and spending, and they get so far into debt. That's the good thing. Me and my husband are not. Everybody has debt these days. There's hardly anyone that that does not, but ours is luckily very, very manageable. We could pay it off very, very quickly. And that's the next kind of big thing that we're trying to do before our baby comes. But it's to a spot where it's very, very manageable. A year ago, I would say it was starting to get to where it was looking a little scary, but we've had a come to Jesus moment and a becoming adults moment, and yeah, we decided family was more important to us than dumb little trinkets, so that's what we did. But yeah, a lot of these people, they're just spending it on dumb stuff, but and it's kind of how I was spending, especially at the beginning of me and my husband's relationship, and when I was single and living on my own and I, could do that. But they're doing it five times that, or 10 times that, to where they're constantly going into more and more debt. And they keep compounding credit cards. Anyways, it's very interesting to see, because I'm how do these people have these cards with that type of a limit, with $10,000 limit? Me and my husband don't even have one of those cards. crazy to think about and see that like those people are trusted with that much money. But anyways, that's a different story. It was just very interesting. The next one I found that I want to watch, probably today, I'll watch it today. I kind of want to watch it with my husband because he thought it sounded really funny too. But it was, the title is literally straight in quotes, Mormon man doesn't tell wife about OnlyFans account. And we watched just the super little intro just so it was on my, in my library so I could find it easier later. But he's essentially like, yeah, I have a credit card for a friend and my friend is the one that has the OnlyFans account. Yeah, and he didn't tell his wife that he was into dudes. Very interesting. I know that's something that happens more frequently than you would think in the church. And a lot of it is because, especially in Utah, I know a lot of people are very judgy, or at least it's perceived that way. A lot, especially the older generation, is very judgy, I know. It's getting better, with the younger generations and stuff, but still there is that kind of judginess and that almost need to fit in. And so I can see where that's very hard to and that's a big thing to tell, your wife who I don't know if they have kids. I didn't get that far in the episode, but just very interesting concept for a YouTube show. And obviously they sign up to be, yelled at and told that they're idiots. They sign contracts and all that, but I don't know, it makes me and my husband feel better. It's like me watching Unexpected. It makes me feel better about me and my husband's, mental capacity and just capacity as humans to raise a child. But yeah, this makes us feel a lot better about our finances because we're like, okay, at least we're not, 80 to 90K in debt. That's terrible. Even with our car, we're not that far in debt. But yeah, that's enough of that. Other stuff, we've been playing a lot more Valorant. We used to play Marvel Rivals almost exclusively, and then it was about a month ago, we were like, we should play Valorant again, because that was fun. And so we picked it back up, and at first, we were a little rusty, but once we got back into it, we're good. We started playing almost exclusively competitive, at least when we were playing together. And yeah, my husband broke into silver. It was a couple weeks ago. I'm the type of, so I usually play, at least in Overwatch and Marvel Rivals, I usually play support. That kind of tells you the type of player I am. I like to be in the back. I don't necessarily like to, get all the kills or all the frags, but I like to support my team so that they can do better. And so in Valorant, they have one healer, but she's she's pretty bad. Well, she can be good if played well, but everyone that plays her doesn't do that. But that's a different story. But I will play what's called Sentinel, or I'll do Smoker. And their job essentially is to set their team up, the other two categories, up to get more kills. And so usually I am towards the bottom or middle of the leaderboard, just because it's based almost solely on how many kills you get. And so I get less points per game than my husband does, at least SR points, so he climbs at a slightly faster pace than I do. We're still within usually one division of each other. So I would be bronze 2, and he would be bronze 3. So we've been kind of in this last bracket. He's been in silver, I think it's silver 1, which is the lowest of the silvers, for a little bit. And I've been in bronze 3, which is the highest of the bronze. And we've kind of just been on this, we would win a couple and then lose one, and then, we'd come back and then lose one and then win a couple, but not enough to get over that threshold. And finally yesterday, I made it to silver. And I did terrible in that game. But, our smoker did not smoke. I was playing Sentinel, so that was mainly on them. They were not setting us up for success. But yes, anyways, so that has been a lot of fun. We'll probably play more of that tonight once all the chores are done before vacation. What else is there? I think, yeah, that is probably all the media stuff going on. For pregnancy stuff. Pregnancy this week has sucked so bad. It was really like okay and fine. Sorry, I have to breathe because now my stomach's getting grumbly again. That's what happens. It's happening again like it did. Baby, get off. Thank you. And kind of like the first trimester, and like early second trimester, where if I talked too much, my stomach would start to feel like I needed to puke. Not quite as bad as it was, but still not fun. Let's see. It started out Thursday and Friday. I was pretty fine. It was really just, my once daily puke in the morning, and then my back would kill really, really badly. But yeah, that was kind of the beginning of the week. And then through, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Monday, we're all pretty bad. Sorry. I'm tired. I cleaned the house this morning. That was exhausting. But anyways, so Friday we slept at my mom's house. And same was Saturday night. And typically her bed is fine. The bed that she has in my room is fine. But I don't know what it was. I think it's because I am far enough along in my pregnancy to where almost everything is just super uncomfortable. Even sometimes my own bed at night, my own bed that I sleep in here is uncomfortable. But I could not sleep at all in my mom's house. I would sleep for maybe 3 hours at the beginning of the night, which is pretty typical, and then I had to get up to pee. And then after that, it would be like I would just fall asleep, wake up an hour later, fall asleep, wake up an hour later for like the rest of the night. And I don't know what she has great shades. They block out all the light, so the room was just as dark as it is here. She had enough pillows for me too, so I was able to set up my little pillow fort essentially that I now have every night to keep me comfortable. So I don't think it was that, but for some reason it just felt so uncomfortable. So yeah, that was great. I got not a ton of sleep. And then Saturday at the wedding was fine. We knew that we were gonna have to get food. Because I told my aunt, I'm like, don't worry about getting anything special for me. I know I have weird dietary restrictions being a vegan. I'll just get something for myself. But in the morning, we had to get up really early to get ready and they were doing a Mormon temple ceremony, which was beautiful, and I love going to those. They're always so fun, and just so wholesome. So we did that. That was really early in the day. And then right after, it was like 10 or 11 by the time it was done, and they had come out and we celebrated them. But they wanted to do pictures by the temple, which is very standard and common in Mormon or LDS weddings. But it was like a bajillion degrees out, and we didn't have water because you can't really bring water into the temple. We didn't have food because we didn't think we would need it. We didn't think it would be that long. That's a lie. I had a few Oreos that I ate, but that was not enough to satiate my intense hunger at that point. So I was pretty hangry at this point. And my mom and my husband, they were being so dear. They were trying to rein my hangriness in while we were trying to take family photos for my cousin and his wife and my aunt, because yeah, anyways though. So yeah, then after that, we immediately went and got food, me and my husband. We went and got like a yakisoba bowl. We originally wanted to do Blaze pizza, because then I was like, okay, then we'll have something that I can just heat up for dinner or whatever right before we leave. for the reception, but their line was like way long, and my mom and aunt had mentioned possibly needing help to set up the luncheon or to like finish the decorations, so we were trying to go pretty quick. So we pivoted and went to Zhao Asian Kitchen, which is absolutely delicious. And I knew I couldn't eat a whole bowl by myself, so me and my husband just split one. And then we went to the luncheon, and the luncheon was fine. But yeah, everybody, even the not vegans, said that the food was pretty mid. But I mean, it was a good time. There was a lot of tears shed, a lot of good memories. I mean, overall, it was very good. But yeah, at this point, I was pretty hungry again, so we cleaned up, went back to my mom's house because there was about 2-3 hours before the reception. And we should have gotten food at this point, but I was like, I'll just eat something at my mom's house. And I did. I ate a snack because I wasn't like starving, but I needed something in me at that point. And then we left for the reception. And we all decided to drive together, and on the way there, we talked, and I was like, I'm gonna need food in probably an hour or two. We would have had time to go get food, but they wanted us there early for more pictures, more family photos, which again makes sense. It is a wedding. You want lots of photos to remember the day. And so we had talked about maybe getting it DoorDashed or having someone just go grab it. But every time I would bring it up, my mom and dad would be like, oh, we're fine. Oh, we don't need it. So I really should have just grabbed their keys and gone. I am an adult. But my mom is a little overprotective of her car because it is a very nice car. So I do get that. So I also didn't really want to like step on any toes there. As for snacks, the only snacks I had were pretzels. Not very filling. I did have some. And they had soft serve ice cream, which I could not eat. But they did have some toppings, which included Oreos and some peanuts. So I had a little bit of those. Again, not nutritional enough to grow a baby, but at least something. And then they had some Coca-Cola hidden away upstairs for, it was like supposed to be, I think, only immediate family members, but they let us go get some because our family's big Coke drinkers. So I went and got some Coca-Cola. But again, not enough to sustain, and I knew that the event was going to go all the way till about 10. We got home at about 10:30. I walked in the door and immediately started dry heaving. Finally got that calmed down, got a bowl of cereal in me, and my stomach after that was just in knots. Yeah, and then the next day woke up, threw up first thing, pretty normal. We drove home early in the day just because we wanted to be home. We knew we had our vacation coming up, so we wanted just some time to be together and be alone before, you know, the craziness of this week hit. And so we left pretty early Sunday morning, drove back, and then after that, we had dinner at my Gobby's house that night, actually, and it's gross just thinking about it. I threw up my dinner. Yay! Haven't done that in a long time. So that was fun. And then Monday morning before work, I threw up 2 times before work, which hasn't happened in a long time either. Because I was feeling pretty miserable at this point. I'm still kind of recovering hydration-wise. I'm definitely drinking more water. But, you know, throwing up 4 times in 24 hours. Kind of even if most of it is just like your stomach acid and bile, it still dehydrates you quite a bit. Especially too because Monday, the whole day, I was just feeling super, super nauseous. It has calmed down quite a bit. Not to the point that I like it, but at least to where I'm like actively not feeling like I'm going to throw up all the time. So that's good. But yeah, Monday I didn't get a ton of liquids in me. I drank a Powerade because that sounded good. Normal water did not sound good, but something like just slightly flavored sounded great. And got some of those electrolytes back in me after losing them all, so that was good. And then we've been eating pretty bland foods again. Mainly cereal, like plain cereal with milk. and bagels and plain baked chips. The baked chips are a lot easier on my tummy than any of the other ones. Pasta, we've done a lot of pasta. My husband is so kind, but I bet he's getting sick of it. Yeah, so just some pretty plain foods to keep my tummy, a little nicer. Yeah, it is feeling too a little, well, I have heartburn on top of that as well, which sucks. So yeah, that's fun. And then, yeah, just the normal back pain. My feet swelled for the first time. It was the day of the wedding. I think it's just because it was so hot and I was on my feet all day. The swelling did go back down. So I think that was mainly it. Because it was just a lot of being on my feet and being in just the hot weather of that day. And now I have the hiccups, of course. So excuse me for that. But yeah. And I think I had my first Braxton Hicks contraction. It was either that or it was my stomach contracting really badly later in the night after I threw up on Sunday. But I laid down to go to bed and it felt like just a really, really bad period cramp. My period cramps have always been terrible, especially for the first 2 days. There have been times where I've had to leave work or school because of how bad they get. The doctors never said anything about that. Never really done tests or anything, but from my ultrasounds, it seems like it's pretty normal down there. So I don't think it's a medical thing. I think it's just my body. Of course, my body hates me when it comes to hormones and anything with that. But it felt like one of the really bad period cramps. Only lasted for a little bit and had to breathe through it. But when I moved around, it felt a lot better and it went away pretty quick. But that was not fun. I hope the rest are not like that. I did ask, because I asked my mom about it. She said usually they're not, they're painful and uncomfortable, but not to where you're bending over. And I was like, oh, well, I was almost bending over with that one. But I just Googled it and there was a lot of awesome women on a couple of Reddits that I was reading through that were like, yeah, my Braxton Hicks contractions were worse than my labor contractions and it was terrible. So it's not unheard of. It's just, I think, another thing where it's uncommon. Just like my morning sickness lasting all through my pregnancy is uncommon, but not unheard of. So yeah. We did get, I think I shared it last week. We got the good news that my cousin-in-law is also pregnant. She's due in January. And she apparently has had a great pregnancy so far, which I am very happy and excited for her because I would not wish this upon anyone. Yes. I think that's really it. That's really all my pregnancy symptoms. I'm just hoping that my nausea stays at bay for this vacation because it's going to be a lot of walking around and being out and about. And luckily, there's a lot of yummy snacks, and Mickey Mouse pretzels are vegan, so I am going to eat a lot of those. And they're very bland for my tummy, so that will help a lot. But I am a little nervous of especially my back hurting throughout the day and my feet and legs swelling, but we will see about that. I do have compression socks. Those are mainly for the plane though, just to help with blood flow down there, especially when we're seated for long periods of time. But yeah, we will see how it goes. The last trip went fine and I was on my feet a lot, so hopefully this one will go just fine too. But yeah, we will end that there. We are not quite as long as last week. Last week's was really long. Yeah, we will end that there. But you guys have a great rest of your week, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time for hopefully a lot more progress and updates and all that fun stuff. But until then, stay safe and enjoy the nice warm weather. And if you're pregnant, hopefully it's a lot easier than mine because this sucks. This week was really bad though. Hopefully it will be better. But until then, we will see you. Bye-bye.